Why the 57 Muslim countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the so-called OIC, are deaf, blind, and mute concerning the oppressions of fellow Muslim countries by the oppressive states of America and Israel? That is the question. The instant answer is the death trap to the Muslims by the global imperialist groups. We will give you the answer in detail, inshallah. Just pay attentive to this Islamic audio lecture. The focus of the Muslim world of today, most of the 2 billion Muslims, is to live a life of comfort, play, and amusement. We always want the following: comfortable house and family, comfortable car and office, comfortable job and career, comfortable environment, living a life of enjoyment, womanizing, liquor consumption, and gambling, and other vices to earn the anger of Allah. Most of the Muslims, all the entire life is mostly dedicated to play and amusement. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبٌ وَلَهُ. And what is the life of this world but play and amusement? Chapter 6, verse 32, Quranul Kareem. These are the primary weaknesses of the Muslims of today: comfort, play, and amusement. The effects of this unregulated obsession to worldly comfort are the following. Effect number 1. Even if how luxurious you may live, sins and vices will make your life miserable. كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. Chapter 83, verse 14. Nay, but on their hearts is the stain of the sin which they do. Even if how much craving for comfort you may have, still you will not be satisfied and never be happy because of the sins involved in corrupting your heart. Effect number 2. The Muslims do not like difficulties in the service to Allah. Effect number 3. They always want what is comfortable even if it is haram. Effect number 4. They do not want to spend their wealth, time, efforts, skills, and talents for the comfort in the paradise. Effect number 5. They do not like the sacrifices of what they have, including life, and they hate death. This is a contradiction to living a life for Allah. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Chapter 6, verse 162, Quranul Kareem. Say, verily, my prayer, my service of sacrifice, my living, and my dying are for Allah, the Lord of all that exists. The most important thing to most of us Muslims is the present worldly life, the comfort of this dunya. And we do not care for the salvation of our soul from the hellfire. We are therefore deceived by the glitter of this dunya. وَغَرَّتْهُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. It was the life of this world that deceived them. Chapter 6, verse 130, Quranul Kareem. And because of this deception, the 57 Muslim countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, continued to be deaf, blind, and mute, hear nothing, see nothing, speak nothing of the worst injustice being done to some Muslim citizens worldwide. These are therefore the following primary weaknesses of the Muslim world today: money, women, gambling, liquor, wasteful travels, love of children, property, security, and luxury, and more of sinful living to earn the anger of the Almighty Allah. Thus, Allah the Almighty by this time allows the kuffar and mushrikun to overpower and punish the Muslims. The Hadith Qudsi explains, إِذَا عَصَانِي مَنْ يَعْرِفُنِي سَلَّتْتُ عَلَيْهِ مَنْ لَا يَعْرِفُنِي. When the one who knows me disobeys me, I will lead the one who does not know me to overpower him. Because of these rampant transgressions, the Muslim world becomes a slave of global imperialism. It is continuously being deceived by this world. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. And the life of this world is only the deception of enjoyment. Chapter 3, verse 185. Based on this sinful and ungrateful love of comfort, there are three dangerous strategies used by the global imperialist groups to conquer the Muslim world. What are the three strategies? Strategy number one: to control the poor Muslim countries. How? First, they designed an attractive, comprehensive development plan to lure the poor Muslim countries to believe that the global imperialist groups have a good intention to help the Muslims alleviate their situations of poverty. How? By presenting the following deceiving plots. Number one plot: they present to a poor Muslim country a massive electrification program, convincing the Muslim leaders of the potentiality of industrialization and improving their lives through the power of electrification throughout the country, from the remote areas in the provinces to the cities. This is irresistible to the Muslims. They are easily hooked. Number two plot: they also include in the development plan the infrastructure projects, pretending to build concrete roads, bridges, public markets, hospitals, schools, and other important constructions to make it appear that they are really intent on improving the lives of people. They would explain deceivingly that by having constructed more concrete roads throughout the country, the agricultural products from the remote areas can easily be transported to the cities, thereby a high potentiality to exportations for more dollar incomes of the people. These are all repeated lies by the global imperialist groups to continuously deceive the poor Muslim countries. Number three plot: then they will present a convincing forecasting economic boom, showing an attractively deceiving graph that in 5 years, and in 10 years, and in 25 years, the economy of the country shall be improved tremendously. These are all traps, but the Muslims, because of their cravings for comfort, even if in the way of haram, made them blind to see the truth of the trap. Number four plot: it is also included in the agenda of the fake but attractive comprehensive economic development plan the improving of the nation's communication system in the pretense to make the facilitating of business transactions faster and easier nationwide and worldwide for the economy to move forward faster. Number five plot: The group also pretends to establish a better and world-class irrigation system to improve the agricultural productions of the country, thereby an additional potentiality for the people to earn more dollar revenues. These are all but traps, yet the people, mostly the corrupt Muslim political leaders, know it to be a trap, but allow themselves to be fooled because of their ill will to enrich also themselves from the scam, thereby helping the global deceivers to deceive their very own people. Number 6 plot. They would explain cunningly to the Muslim political leaders that the country, based on their fake surveys, is peopled by citizens of countless diseases of tuberculosis, hepatitis, and other ailments resulting to non-productive and unreliable manpower. Therefore, they would pretend to introduce a better health program to solve the problems and give the nation a stronger manpower to upgrade the economy. Another lie to deceive the Muslim world. In other words, their mission, as how it appeared, is to help a poor Muslim country solve their poverty problems. But the Muslims are curious to ask, how can we afford the cost of the comprehensive development plans, and from where can we get the needed billion-dollar budget? They always have the prepared answer: to borrow money from their partner corporate global financial institutions, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, lending a loan that is impossible to or can never be repaid by a victim Muslim country. This is the famous and globally well-known ambush, the debt trap or the loan trap. Then as a result, you become deaf, blind, and mute, hear nothing, see nothing, speak nothing of the oppressions, genocides, crimes of humanity repeatedly being done to your brethren in Iman. Such is the first strategy to control the world of the Muslim poor. Let us now move on to the second strategy. Strategy number 2, to exploit the rich Muslim countries. Number 1 plot. These global imperialist groups tell the rich or potential rich Muslim country the plan to modernize their nation. How? By digging out their huge deposit of gasoline oil from beneath the ground, then refining their crude oil into finished petroleum products, then bringing it to international market for a higher petrodollar income. It's a good news for the Arab Muslims without knowing the big trap of the exploited oil wealth. Number 2 plot. These groups would present a very attractive plan to have a technology to transforming the desert land into agricultural soil in order for the Arabs to produce much agricultural products for export and thus amass $billion of revenues from international market. Number 3 plot. They would allure the innocent Muslim leaders for their plans to transform the low-tech Arab nations into a high-tech modern first world countries with everything controlled by push button, promising them to live in 5-star hotels and world-class mansions instead of just residing in humiliating tents in the desert lands. Everything is presented alluringly well to make the trap irresistible. Number 4 plot for the rich Muslim countries. In order to strengthen more their grip of the trap, the global imperialist groups supply also the Muslim countries with military hardware, military infrastructures, military trainers, military advisors, and provide the Muslims with national security system and other forms of military support to make the Muslim country forcefully loyal and submissive and never to their betrayal or disobedience to the governments of the kuffar and mushrikun. Then as a result, the 57 Muslim nations hear nothing, see nothing, and speak nothing of the brutal killings of helpless men, women, and children in Palestine, Lebanon, Tunisia, Iraq, Libya, and now Iran. This is how brutally effective the two strategies. Let us now move on to the third strategy. Strategy number 3, the strategy of terror. Number 1 plot, if the leaders of a Muslim country refuse to accept the two above-mentioned strategies, for the leaders may have sensed and understood well the danger of the trap to the well-being of the nation, then they will resort to any kind of plots to get rid of the refusing Muslim leaders. They will resort to their favorite number 1 option, assassination. And there are 100 forms of killing a leader in a way that may look like an accident or a disease maybe, in order to replace him with someone who shall be willing to cooperate with their dirty plot. If the said leader cannot be neutralized by murder, the next plot is proven effective. They will use the traditional media as well as the social media to orchestrate an issue to make the good Muslim leader appear immoral, corrupt, anti-development, anti-freedom, and a hindrance to the welfare of the nation. Impeachment, therefore, is the next modus operandi to oust a good Muslim leader. The deceived people who organized mass demonstrations and people power movements to oust their good leader only will realize later how they were used and exploited to kick out their president. This is a common scenery in the so-called Arab Spring delusion. If still a good Muslim leader cannot be ousted by impeachment, the next option is to manipulate the unhappy generals, those unsatisfied military leaders, against the regime and sporting hidden sentiments against the president, encouraging them and promising them to support them with money and weapons to launch a coup d'etat. How many Muslim leaders have been destroyed by coup d'etat? Many, and the number is still growing. And finally, if still the good Muslim leader is invincible to their plots, the ultimate move to destroy him is the force of invasion. They will convince the United Nations Security Council to sign a resolution in pretending to protect the rights, liberty, and safety of civilians by bombing the refusing but legitimate Muslim government to oust the uncooperative leader. And if the Muslim government fights back, it shall be justifiable to accuse it of state terrorism, and therefore, the more the United Nations Security Council can procure a resolution to justify the destruction of a good Muslim leader. And what is very drastically painful is the truth that most of those member Muslim countries in the United Nations signed the resolution to bomb their fellow Muslim leaders. Subhanallah. They do not only watch and do nothing to defend a brother in Iman, but they are the very leaders who signed the approval of the crime to bomb and invade a fellow Muslim country. Allahu Akbar, subhanallah. This is how effective the trapping of Muslim leaders. As a consequence, majority of the Muslim countries of the United Nations, because of fear and more fear, will just become deaf, blind and mute, hear nothing, see nothing, speak nothing of the brutal oppressions done to the Muslim world. The question is, where is the mandate of the hadith which says that the Muslim world is like one body, that when the little finger is hurt, the whole body feels the pain? The hadith says, the pain of a little finger is the pain of the whole body. Why is it that the Muslim world, the 2 billion Muslims of today, why is it that the Muslim world does not feel the pain of the continuous bombings in Gaza and now in Iran? The answer? These 2 billion Muslims are powerless and therefore useless to defend the Muslim Ummah. And why these 2 billion Muslims worldwide are powerless? The hadith gives the answer. Thawban radiallahu an narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, soon the nations will call one another to attack, meaning invade, to attack you as diners call one another to a dish. Someone asked, will it be because we are few in number on that day? He said, no. Rather, you will be many on that day, but you will be like the foam on a torrent. Allah will make away your fear from the hearts of your enemies, and Allah will fill your hearts with wahan. Someone asked, Messenger of Allah, what is wahan? He said, love of this world and dislike for death. Our sources, Hadith Abu Dawood and Hadith Ahmad. The love of this world and the dislike of death give way to the trapping of the Muslim world by the Crusaders and the Zionists. As a result of the 3 strategies, global imperialism controls the 57 Muslim countries on the following matters. Number 1, on political leadership. Number 2, on economic policy designing. Number 3, on military affairs control. Number 4, on maneuvering the national interest. Number 5, on manipulating the national security situations. And number 6, on redirecting even the Islamic religious culture of the Muslims, so that they remain deaf, blind, and mute, hearing nothing, seeing nothing, and speaking nothing of the unspeakable terror being done to destroy Islam and Muslims in the pretense of establishing progress, peace, development, and democracy in the Muslim world. If these Muslim countries happen to speak, it's only talk. It's only diplomatic talks and no real action, no military actions to punish the criminal states. This is reality. Now, we go on to the 3 objectives of the 3 strategies. Yes, the 3 objectives of the 3 strategies are the following. Objective number 1. To make both the poor and rich Muslim countries always dependent upon and all the time submissive to the enemies of Allah in all matters of political decision-making, economic policy designing, military control, national security maneuvering, and even the Islamic educational and religious matters. Then the Muslim world of today, 21st century, will continuously be afraid of the enemies of Allah, leading their life to a miserable existence, the life of hearing nothing, seeing nothing, and speaking nothing to protect the rights, freedom, and justice of fellow Muslims. There is no reason to fear them. إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه فلا تخافوهم وخافون إن كنتم مؤمنين. Chapter 3, verse 175, Quranul Kareem. It is only Shaitan that suggests to you the fear of his awliya. So fear them not, but fear me if you are true believers. There is no real happiness in a Muslim life if instead of fearing Allah, he fears something else. If you are searching for real ease and comfort in life, to fear Allah is the sure way formula to happiness. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ يُسْرًا. And whoever fears Allah, He will give him ease in his affairs. Chapter 65, verse 4, Quranul Kareem. Objective number 2 of the 3 strategies: to enrich the enemies of Allah with petrodollar money of the Muslim world through the following. Number 1 plot: maximizing the loan interests so that the Muslim country can never repay the principal loan. And since usury or riba is a major sin in Islam, and most of the 57 Muslim countries are under the loan trap by the World Bank and IMF, and their economy is controlled by riba, what do you expect of the anger of Allah against the Muslim world of today? Number 2 plot: maximizing the prices of infrastructure materials to burden more the Muslim countries. Number 3 plot: maximizing the volume of petroleum to be stored by these global imperialist groups to their own storage system in Europe and in America, so that in less than in a period of 100 years, the Arab gasoline is dried up and no more, and the Muslim Arabs are back to disgusting begging. Number 4 plot: maximizing the rate of technical support and the cost of engineering services to exploit further the rich Arab world. Number 5 plot: maximizing the budget for military hardware and training services. And number 6 plot: maximizing the cost of maintaining national security. All of these plots will impoverish in less than 100 years even the richest Muslim countries. And yet, still the Muslim world is sleeping on a deep slumber and shall continue to hear nothing, see nothing, and speak nothing of the real terror being done to the Muslims of today. Objective number 3 of the 3 strategies: as another form of anti-Islam, an anti-Muslim crusade of the modern time, the 3 strategies are designed to undermine Islam and control the Muslim world. The Western and European communities consider Islam as a virus to their happiness, security, prosperity, and well-being. They look at Islam not as a solution to world problems, but as a toxic to humanity. Allahu Akbar. They look at Muslims not as partners to global progress, but as a problem to world peace. As a solution, destroy Islam and control the 57 Muslim countries, then rule the world. And you will continue to be deaf, blind, and mute, hearing nothing, seeing nothing, and speaking nothing of the horrible life experienced by the global Muslims of today. All of these painful sufferings of the Muslim world today are caused by the Muslims' unregulated love for worldly comfort. وَغَرَّتْهُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. And it was the life of this world that deceived them. Chapter 6, verse 130, Quranul Kareem. And because of the unregulated love of comfort, the 57 Muslim countries of the world, or the 2 billion Muslims of today worldwide, hear nothing, see nothing, and speak nothing to defend Islam and protect the Muslims. And if they happen to do something, it's nothing but talk only, diplomatic talks only, and no real actions, no military actions to make the criminal states be responsible and be accountable for the crimes against humanity. There is one thing that we must emphasize, that the desire for comfort is not haram. The way of life in Islam is not a search for difficulty, but life in Islam is easy. It is a religion of ease. وَنُيَسِّرُكَ لِلْيُسْرَى, and we will make it easy for you to follow the simple path. Chapter 87, verse 8, Quranul Karim. The Almighty Allah does not want to make life difficult for us Muslims, but He just wants us to be purified. ما يريد الله ليجعل عليكم من حرج ولكن يريد ليطهركم وليتم نعمته عليكم لعلكم تشكرون. Allah does not wish to place you in a difficulty, but to make you purified and to complete His favor upon you, that you may be grateful. Chapter 5, verse 6, Quranul Karim. What makes it haram, the love for comfort, are the following. Number one, when the desire for comfort goes against the will of Allah, involving haram activities. Number two, when a modernizing of a country involves a friendship with the enemies of Allah, cooperating with the enemies of Allah in the commitment of evils and perpetration of transgressions, وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. Chapter 5, verse 2, Quranul Karim. And do not cooperate in sin and transgression, and fear Allah. Allah is severe in punishment. Remember this. Never an enemy of Allah be sincere in fulfilling the welfare of a Muslim community. The intention of their friendship with the Muslims are always, number one, to exploit your wealth. Number two, to influence your way of life against Islam. Number three, to use you to exploit other Muslims. And number four, to control your existence. Then, number three, when the acquiring of wealth is done, number three reason about unregulated search for happiness, play and amusement. When the acquiring of wealth is done with a disobedience to the will of Allah, then the desire for comfort becomes a Muslim's passport to the discomfort in this dunya and destruction of soul in the hellfire. Therefore, the results of these haram grabbings by Muslims are the following. Number one, the Muslims in poor countries will continue in their painful sufferings with poverty, humiliation, exploitation, corruption, immorality, crimes, oppressions. Number two, the rich Muslim countries become allies of the enemies of Allah to rule the world with munkar of global imperialism. Then number three, the Muslims will be handling Islam as mentioned in Hadith, like holding a burning coal, a fire in the hand. As a conclusion, if we, the 2 billion Muslims worldwide, do not wake up and we will just watch and see the munkar, hearing nothing, seeing nothing, and speaking nothing of the evil of global imperialism and the evil of anti-Islam and anti-Muslim crusade, and pretending only to do something by talking, but no military actions to punish the criminal states, then listen to the warning of the Holy Quran. وَإِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَن نُهْلِكَ قَرْيَةً أَمَرْنَا مُتْرَفِيهَا فَفَسَقُوا فِيهَا فَحَقَّ عليها القول فدمرناها تدميرا. Chapter 17 verse 16 Quranul Karim. When we decide to destroy a population, we first send a definite order to those among them who are given the good things of this life and yet disobey, so that the word punishment is proved true against them. Then we destroy them completely. Allahu Akbar. Total destruction is awaiting to the Muslim world if we just watch and see and do nothing against the munkar of global imperialism and the munkar of anti-Islam and anti-Muslim crusade and Zionism. We must do something and change our situation, because Allah will not change our helpless situation unless we first change ourselves. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Chapter 13 verse 11 Quranul Karim. Verily, Allah will not change the condition of a people as long as they do not change their state themselves. Allahu Akbar. May the Almighty Allah guide us and protect all of us. Allahumma amin.